and welcome back to Dating Dynamics. Matt and Nick here to review and talk about episode 5 of Provo's Most Eligible. Now, before we get into that, we just want to say we really did interview Lauren. You could ask her; she would vouch for us, I think.
Yes.
But we just wanted to explain that we outsourced the videography and the editing and everything to a group of guys that are really talented. They had great equipment. It was just an opportunity we didn't want to pass up. Point being, it's taking longer than we thought, so we do apologize for that, but that video is going to be coming soon. Also on the topic of interviews, because, just due to all the popular demand down in the comments section, we are going to be interviewing Ben Saturday morning, and we're looking forward to it. Thing is, we actually really do want you guys to ask some questions. You can ask some really hard questions. A lot of you guys had really good comments down in our comment section. We didn't agree with all of them, but when we talk to Ben, we're going to be able to hear it all straight from the horse's mouth. And so don't miss the opportunity to ask him the hard questions.
Yes, he will pass all of them.
We'll see.
No, we're excited about that for sure. So, getting into this episode, first of all, I found it so funny with Walker. He has so many of these moments of like, well, I used to be that guy, but that's not me anymore. And actually, we'll just go ahead and roll a few of those moments.
This place is amazing. Seriously, I could throw so many big parties here. I'm just kidding, no, but this place is really nice. But other times I'm like, you gotta have self-confidence, and I know I'm like awesome, so how could she not want me? Just kidding. To be honest, a lot of the guys here are pretty jacked. They have really nice bodies. My body's not as nice as theirs, but my personality makes up for it. And that's the truth. I mean, if you want, like, it's whatever. And so I just don't look at women as numbers anymore, so I just don't know my kissing number. It's funny that all the guys think I've kissed the most girls. I guess that's a compliment. I mean, like, it takes work to kiss a girl. It's a process, so I guess they think I'm good at the process.
Yeah, so he has a lot of those back and forth. And to me, it's like, well, your actions speak much more than your words. And so we've said it before, and a lot of people are talking about it, but it's definitely the case that this guy puts off some major player vibes. But a new one that we picked up on, and by the way, we've done a video about this, the whole player versus prince scenario. We'll put a card up in that corner there. Mm-hmm. But the idea here is that players get insecure, and he showed some insecurity. Actually, we'll roll that.
It's just when I see her with Keaton that I'm like, it honestly turns me off a little bit, because I'm like, I don't know how to describe it, but when she's with him, like acting with him the same way she's acting with me, it makes me like confused, and it makes me like annoyed as well, and it makes me honestly want to give up. Like, it makes me want to try not as hard. So like, you could say I'm flustered.
So, there we see that Walker is a guy that obviously has a lot of options. Okay, I mean, he told her, "Yeah, I'm like talking to other girls, but not like talking."
Talk. What does that even mean?
But yet here he is jealous because she is showing interest to another guy. Now, a prince often will, and usually should, have a lot of options, okay? That's not a sign that you're a player if a lot of girls are interested in you, and if you haven't decided yet, like locked yourself into a relationship. However, it is a 100% sign that you're a player if you have all these options, and one of those options is also potentially seeking one, because a player is going to want to control and like possess every option. And they're going to hold them to standards that they don't hold themselves to. So, yeah, that's our feelings about Walker.
Yeah. Hey, we might be wrong, but we don't think so.
we want to like him, but, and we do like him.
We do like
He's
him.
entertaining.
Yeah.
And,
we're fine with him, but ladies, you should be watching out.
Watch out. We wouldn't let our daughters date him. But here's the thing. So another thing that we talked about in our previous episode was the way that you react to competition. So Jake and Scott both reacted on camera to Mikey being shirtless because Mikey's a big built guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all shirtless, so they're all kind of exposed. And Mikey is bigger than either of them. So it's really interesting to see how they both reacted. Scott reacts like, you know what? He is definitely built better than I am. I'm going to have to step my game up, apparently. You know, he became more focused.
He said it inspires me.
Yes.
One thing we've all been waiting for all season is to see Mikey without his shirt off. The day has finally come. Yes, he's strong. Am I intimidated by that? I'm probably less intimidated, more inspired by it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's big. Whereas what did Jake do? Well, he went to his usual competition.
Mikey makes me insecure. That dude is shredded.
Yeah. Well, it just you see that insecurity there, and you know we've ragged on him a lot about that, and of course we'll have some positive things to say about him because he's still in the game.
Yep.
But that's something he just shows over and over and over again.
But not to the girls' faces.
That's true. That's true. That's a key point, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. So, speaking of Team Lauren, so we're going to go into each of the girls here, kind of talk about what they're selecting for, and then, you know, why the guys who got sent home. So, first of all, with Lauren, I was surprised, but at the same time, I can kind of see what happened there. So it seems that Lauren is selecting for guys that show interest by saying that they're interested, as well as physically. Like Austin made the move. That was awesome. He went in and kissed her. You know, he kind of got into Lauren's group later on, but he came in and made some moves. And obviously Jake was the first to kiss her. And hey, kudos, he was bold enough to do that. We made fun of the whole situation, but he did do that. And it takes some level of bravery to kiss a girl that you're attracted to. So there we gave you something there, you know.
That's all you're getting, Jake.
Yes. But Caleb, so Nick, what about that?
Matt and I really liked Caleb, and I suspect that a lot of you out there did as well.
Yep.
He seems super genuine, has a lot going for him, does show some charm. Definitely has some charm. In fact, in this whole date, there was a lot more physical interaction, a lot more push-pull, both physically and verbally.
Yeah, more so verbally, but yes.
And she actually initiated almost all of the physical contact.
Yep.
She even said in her little interview after that she kind of got him out of his shell.
Yeah.
You know, it's like she's having to work just to bring up a little charm in this guy. Mm-hmm. And we say that with all the love in the world, Caleb, because we think you're a super stellar guy. And she obviously thought so too. But he lost out because he did not show that affection and he didn't escalate anything physically. And at this stage in the game, you know, he got this far just by being awesome and very okay with himself. Those are great qualities, but you gotta, as time goes on, you have to escalate things or whatever you have just goes away.
Yep, definitely. One last quick note about Team Lauren is that both the guys that are still there were not originally on her team. They both came from other teams. And it's interesting because, like, Lauren, you know, she selected that first group of guys, and you saw mostly a lot of really nice and not very, like, overbearing guys. But you can see kind of like maybe with Lauren, it's like, well, you know, and this is a lot of men and women, but more so women, I would say, is that you don't always really know what you're looking for. But when you see it, you recognize it, even if you can't articulate that, even if you can't say exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. But you just know it when you feel it. And so it was interesting to see that all of her original guys, boop, they're gone.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's very telling. So for Ellie, Ellie, she likes Scott. And so what is she selecting for with all the guys in second and third place and everything. Well, she's selecting 4 guys that won't be pushy and make her feel uncomfortable. For Mikey, unfortunately, Mikey's a great guy. That's why he survived as long as he did. He did a lot of things right up to this point, but he did make big gestures. She was uncomfortable in the limo ride. She was uncomfortable with a couple conversations. And in this one, because she seemed to be pulling away, he really threw himself out there, and it's just too early to make a gesture like that.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, it's like we are viewing this show over weeks' time, and you think, there's this space between, but it's like, if you think about it, Ellie and Mikey, in terms of time that they've spent conversing, I don't know, maybe like an hour and a half total. Like maybe 2 hours. I mean, it could be more than that, but it's not a lot more than that. Mm. And to say things like, well, I could really see us going somewhere. You might think in the moment that showing I'm committed and I'm into this, are you into this? You might think that that's a good way to go about it, but it's certainly not the most attractive way to go about it. And she was hesitant, and that just pushed her further away. So, I would not have expected Josue to get this far, but it's because he hasn't done anything really wrong.
Well, what was their date like?
He just didn't do anything really bad. Yeah. He didn't make her feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so,
So now with B. B selects for assertiveness, playfulness, and physical contact. I don't think there's a question about that. Both of the guys on her team, if everything is to be believed, taken at face value from what they said, they are the 2 guys on the show who have kissed the most girls. And they are her 2 front runners. And if that doesn't say something, then, I'm not sure what would.
Yeah. No, I think that, she definitely needs that physical attraction big time. I mean, everybody does to some extent, but she really, really selects for that. And we called it from the start with Daniel. And we did not base that on his size. We based it on the fact that he just didn't make things man to woman, that he presented himself as a friend in terms of the way he talked and his body language and the lack of intimate physical contact. It just, he friend zoned himself from the start. And it, there was something interesting he said at the very start, poolside.
See, I'm an all natural guy. I don't care what people think about me, but we have some guys in the group who do, and it's, to each their own, let them do their thing, but I come in with farmer's tan every single time, not even. This is just pale. White.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If you are a big boy, that's fine, okay? The thing is, there are going to be some women that just won't take you seriously for that reason. That's a reality, and that's just something you have to live with. But the thing is, even if someone says, I'm owning this, is that just you saving face? And the thing is, we don't know. But to me, his inability to show hey, I'm interested in you in a physical way, in a romantic way, because he never did that, it tells me that he felt like she wasn't going to take him seriously because of his appearance physically. And so you can say that all day, and that's fine if it's true, but if it's not, then
if it's in the back of your head, when you're around a girl that you're interested in, then you need to do something about it. You either need to become truly okay with it, or you need to change. You need to diet, exercise, put those efforts out, do things you can be proud of, and you can say, hey, look, I may not have the physique of that guy, like say Scott, but I'm working on it, and I've got other great qualities that I can really show.
Yeah.
And I agree. So there's another big thing with B in this episode. So B and Keaton, as they often do, they had pretty deep and telling conversation, and I actually like that about them. B does, she does. We talk about her wanting that physical contact. She definitely does. She does appreciate open, honest discussion about things, and I like that about B. In this case, it highlighted a really important principle of dating. Keaton and B are both people who have struggled with having and or maintaining a relationship. In fact, both of them were basically like, never really had a real relationship. B said never one that lasted like a month, or it was like, that's a pretty short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Keaton, however, had a really healthy attitude about it, which was, I have fear of commitment. I have reasons within me that are causing this that I can see. B, however, hers was more outside of herself. It's them, and we'll roll that just real quick.
We would like almost get there, and then I don't know, it was usually pretty much always like on their part, either like they had commitment issues, or they just like weren't sure, or they felt like something was missing, or I don't know, like I've heard a lot of different reasons.
So as we can see there, she's had a lot of failure, you could say, in the realm of dating, and she is projecting that onto the men that she's dated. Now, we see men and women do this all the time. They fail to either get past a first date or to have a relationship, and it's all the opposite sex's fault. We just want to say, like our favorite clinical psychologist, if that's what you're struggling with, it's not all of the men and it's not all of the women, it's you. And so if you're a guy in this scenario, we just invite you to take our one-on-one coaching with us, because we can help you pinpoint that problem and solve it. And it's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we're wrapping up here. Great to be back, and we'll be seeing you next week. Look out for those interviews. We're looking forward to it. And, we'll see you next time.